My baby for 2 months. I just want.
I just want.
I just want my baby.
My baby.
I've been away from my baby for 2 months.
Hey, I'm Anwar. I am 5'5".
Yep. My son. Brr, 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 brr. Jimapel Montana.
Hey, I'm Anwar. I am 5'5".
Bro, failed that shit. He failed that shit. Yep.
Hey, I'm Anwar. I am 5'5".
Damn, dog. I feel bad for bro. 5'5". 5'5". 5'5". 5'5" is not even that bad though.
So sorry for sending you 25 posts in a row. It's just that I'm obsessed with you and absolutely everything on the internet reminds me of you. And so when I see it, then I have to send it to you. And I go, they'll think this is funny. And so just please open them and say, oh my God, so us, so that I can feel good about sending more. Thanks. So sorry for sending you.
Go ahead, send this to your crush. Hey, look, shawty. I ain't gonna lie, you so beautiful. I swear, if being beautiful is a crime, I swear you be doing life, shawty. Yo, go ahead, send this to your crush. Hey, look, shawty.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie, you so beautiful.
What is your favorite thing in the world?
I don't blame him.
What is your favorite thing in the world?
I don't blame that low man.
Favorite thing in the world?
He ain't lie. Yo, Bulla, what's your favorite thing in the world? What's your favorite thing in the world? Huh? Bugatti? Lamborghini? Ferrari? Ferrari? Good job. Oh my god. Look at that.
What is your
It's easy to get into, but harder to get out of. Does anyone know this? Anybody at all?
Brokenness. You know brokenness? If you go inside the brokenness.
Yeah. This is crazy as fuck. You gotta see this, bro. This shit funny as
It's
fuck.
easy to get into, but harder to get out of. Does anyone know this? Anybody at all?
Brokenness. You know brokenness? If you go inside the brokenness.
Bro, not even lying though. You can be broke like this much for like that. To get out being broke? Oh hell no. Well,
It's easy to get into, but harder to get out of.
no,
Does anyone know this?
no.
Anybody at all?
Brokenness. You know brokenness? If you go inside the brokenness.
Aw, look at you. You little sleepy baby. You tired? Aw. Texting all them other dudes got you as a little, huh? Yeah, I'm starting. I don't care. The only person you need to text is me. Aw, look at.
Only thing I'm saying now is that I did not really know who you were. I thought you was a thug. It's dark over here, and when you how about the overhead lights? I thought it was
Yo, what the fuck? I thought you was a thug. It's crazy work.
who you were. I thought you was a thug. It's dark over here, and when you how about the overhead lights? I thought it was Christmas. I didn't know. Only thing I'm saying now,
Bro, double
is that I
down
did
with the
not
lie
really
and
know who
shit.
you were. I thought you was it's dark over here, and when you how about the overhead lights? I thought it was Christmas. I didn't know.
Hold on.
Only thing I'm saying now is that I did not really know who you were. I thought you was it's dark over here, and when you how about the overhead lights? I thought it was Christmas. I didn't know. Only thing I'm saying now is that I did not really know who you were. I thought you was it's dark over here, and when you how about the overhead lights? I thought it was Christmas. I didn't know. Only thing I'm saying now is that I did not really know who you were. I thought you was
Bro, really say like I thought it was Christmas and shit.
Guys, listen. Life is like a beach. The more the water, like the more the
Who? He attacked just like you.
just know life is like a beach. Thank you. Guys, listen. Life is like a beach.
You have no idea how much I miss you right now and how badly I wanna see you and hug you. Hey, buddy.
Yo, whatever you're doing right now, stop it. Put the phone up to your forehead. You can hear me better. You got it? Have a good day. Yo, whatever you're doing right now, stop it. Put the phone up to your forehead. You can hear me better. You got it?
I want to do life with you. And that's it. That's all. I don't want anything else from you, but I want to do it with you, whether it's through the ups and the downs. I don't give a shit. Right. I want to.
Oh, I thought this nigga was talking about life in prison. Like, what the heck? I was about to say, fuck no. If you're doing life, you're gonna do that shit by yourself. Not with me.
Experience every single high and every single low and the amazing joys of life. I want to do life with you. And that's it.
You see, the Bible is just a bunch of hood stories. It just depends on how you read it. Because we all had a friend group where two of the people in the group were secretly beefing. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, John and Peter, yeah, they definitely had some type of secret beef going on. It was more one-sided because John always had something bad to say about Peter, even though they both were part of the 12 disciples. I made a list. See, now, John had his own book in the Bible. And every time he talked great about himself, he made sure to talk bad about Peter. For example, one time they were headed to the tomb, they were running, and he made sure to write in his verse, the other disciple reached the tomb faster than Peter. The only other disciple there was John. Even when Peter walked on water, John left it out of his book. He talks about Jesus walking on water. He talks about the storm that day, but deliberately leaves out the fact that Peter also walked on water that day too. Now remember when that guard approached Jesus and Peter cut his ear off with the sword? Yeah, the only reason we know that is because John snitched. John is the only person in the entire Bible to name Peter as the person who cut the guard's ear off. Now, if you didn't know, Peter was the first to declare Jesus as the Messiah. You want to know who left that out of their part of the book? John. John left that out of his book. He knew that Peter was the first to declare Jesus as the Messiah. He didn't write that about it at all. But when Jesus died and resurrected, John made sure to put in the book, I was the first to recognize Jesus off the shore. I knew it was him. And consistently throughout his book, he keeps referring to himself as the one that Jesus loved, as if Jesus didn't love anybody else. Listen, there's a whole bunch more. I'm just going to have to get to them next week. You see, the Bible is just a bunch of hood stories. It just depends on how you read it.
Incoming! Hiya! Boop boop. Ta-da! Thought I'd change it up and give you some hearts instead.
Dang, we text each other a lot. Hey, my girl, she loves me. She hit. Babe, what do you want to eat?
And they tell me I be doing too much.
Would you be a stay-at-home dad if your wife made over $500K a year?
We going. What I'm on the
Nigga, fuck? Nigga, you making me wet. What you mean would you be a stay-home dad? Nigga, I'm a proudly stay home. Yo, you fucking crazy, nigga?
And Fox, and MSNBC, alongside local news, sitcoms, science documentaries, and talk shows. Her methods were precise. Tapes needed to be switched out every 6 hours, a task that was eventually trained to an assistant to manage. Stokes preferred analog recording to safeguard against interference, ensuring the integrity of the archive. Her operation was shrouded in secrecy, with tapes being delivered in trash bags to maintain confidentiality. Upon her passing, January 3rd, 2012, at 83 due to lung disease, Marion left behind an extraordinary legacy through her tireless project of recording television history. Her efforts culminated in a collection of 71,000 VHS and Betamax tapes, capturing over 800,000 hours of television footage spanning from around 1977 to 2012. These efforts filled 3 apartments and multiple storage units across 2 states. Her final recording in her vast collection was the news coverage of the Sandy Hook massacre. In her will, Stokes entrusted the massive archive to her son, Michael Mullis II, with instructions to donate to charity. He chose to donate the collection to the Internet Archive, a non-profit organization in San Francisco. The shipping of the tapes required 4 shipping containers and cost over $16,000, making it the largest collection the Internet Archive had ever received. The Internet Archive took on the challenge of digitizing Stokes' collection and making it accessible online. Initiated in 2013, this monumental project involved dedicated volunteers utilizing 20 digitizing machines with an anticipated cost of nearly $2 million. It was expected to take several years. However, as of April of 2022, the project remains incomplete due to funding constraints, with only a portion of the tapes being digitized and available online. In the end, Marion Stokes' legacy is her extensive collection of nearly 750,000 hours of television broadcasts that spans over 3 decades. This guerrilla recording effort preserved a treasure trove of media that networks would typically just throw away. Highlighting the critical role of independent efforts to maintain historical records, Stokes' work underscores the importance of safeguarding truth amid media bias.
She was really about that life. What the heck? Well, hell no.
Ollie and Anna seemed so perfect. And what people didn't know was she was screaming for help.
This is something pretty sad, man. Unfortunately, she passed away 15 minutes after this video. As we watched this to see what's really going on, I asked you all to send prayers. You know, 1 like equals 1,000 prayers. Let's run up 1 million likes, 1 million prayers, 100 million prayers, just for the family and the friends and the support of whatever was going on. I haven't had a chance to watch this, but by the title, it's obviously something that's going to be pretty hectic. You know, let's get into it right now and see what's going on, man.
Fuck about me right now. If you tell me you don't give a fuck about me right now, on some real shit, I swear to God, I walk away with it.
I never said I didn't give a fuck about you. You know I care about you. Ricky, stop.
Tell me.
Stop. Chill
no,
out.
tell
Chill
me.
out, bro.
No, tell me right motherfucking now.
I'm telling you.
Shit.
I'm telling you.
So you tell me you don't give a fuck about me.
I'm telling you that I care about you. You
no,
know this.
on some real shit. Tell me right
what
now.
What are you doing? Why did you just do that?
No, tell me on some
Chill
real shit. I don't give a fuck.
Why did you just do that?
Tell me on some real shit you don't give a fuck about me.
Ricky, I never said I didn't give a fuck about you.
Tell me on some real shit you don't give a fuck about me.
I don't, why are you upset? Like, I don't, what did I say?
Because I'm upset because I fucking love you.
Oh.
But what did I say to you?
Okay. So what's going on here? It sounds like that they're a couple. And I know this is probably too soon to say this, but what I'm getting from this, man, is that this lady is having an episode, like a bipolar disorder, like a, episode, like a manic episode. I'm not sure the details that's going on, but how she's speaking and how she's sounding, it's very much sounds like that. But it sounds like that they're a couple. Let's finish watching it.
What did I say to make you upset?
Because you made everything that made me upset.
What did I say to you? I
No,
came
on
all
some
the way
real
over
shit.
here to be.
On some real shit. Tell me right now you don't give a fuck about me. You don't care nothing about me.
I came all the way over here
Tell
to
me.
drink with you and
Right.
chill with you, and now
Right.
you're doing this
Okay,
stupid
you're
shit.
not doing
like
that.
you slamming fucking furniture around. Like this shit is. I'm
And
not
that's
with
cool.
none of this shit, bro.
And I paid for it.
Okay, it don't matter. Like this shit is not gonna make me stay. Like seeing this side of you is not gonna whatever.
It's not gonna make you stay.
Whatever you're trying to do is not gonna work.
make you stay.
Like I'm not. We are friends. Like I done told you this. I love you. I care about you. But at the end of the day, you
But they friends?
cannot be together. Like
Why?
Look at how you act. Bro.
Why?
Look at what you doing.
Why?
Look at the shit that you
Why?
doing.
No, don't touch me.
Look at the
What's
shit that you
going
doing.
on?
This is why.
why.
I'm answering you. You're answering your question right now with this shit. Like
You never gave a fuck about me when you found out about me and Jason. You never.
So who passed away? Did this girl in this video pass away? Or did the girl that's crying like pass away? Like did somebody unalive somebody?
Never give a fuck about me.
I think it's the other girl. Thought like we don't see her and shit. Type shit. That shit.
On some real shit. You never gave a fuck about me. If you did, you would be here.
What are you?
You would be here with me.
Like,
Cause somebody that loves somebody, you will be here regardless.
I do love you.
No matter what goes on, you will be here with me.
I'm trying to be your friend. Like we have not been in a relationship ever.
Right. And I'll try to show you that I want to be in a relationship with you.
But I've been telling you since day one, I don't want a relationship right now. And I told you that we need to stop doing shit that people in relationships do because it's not going nowhere. So chill out, like calm down, fix your shit,
I
like
ain't gotta fix.
like relax, like.
I'm so fucking mad.
Why are you doing this?
Because I'm so fucking mad at you.
I didn't do shit to you though.
You
Like-
pissed me the fuck off. Like, no, bitch, don't play me. No, don't play me. I don't give a fuck if you hit me, bitch. I swear to God, I hit you back.
I'm not hitting. You're
What?
hitting me.
No, I'm not playing with you.
Can I sit down, bro?
No.
Bro, watch
But you
out,
see
bro.
that I give a fuck about you. Like, you see that I fucking care about you. Why are you doing this?
I promise you, I'm about to call the police. Like, you're doing the most.
Am I?
Like, I can't do this shit.
Is that what you want to do?
Like, look at this.
So I'm super caring about you.
I'm not, oh my God.
No,
Y'all
be
should-
honest. I'm super caring about you.
No, I'm stupid for bringing you liquor, bro. Like, I should have never done that.
You ain't got to bring me a goddamn thing. I can do it on my motherfucking
Oh, she's drunk.
Okay, but I should have never came over
Yeah, she
here, bro.
definitely faded.
No,
I knew, like,
because I wanted that. Like, I want to see where you...
Imagine going from this to this. Meet Superhuman, the most productive email app ever made.
And look what you doing now that I'm here. You keep saying, you keep confirming that you know that it's nothing between us, and then you act like everything is cool. You pretend that everything is okay. You lure me over here, and then you do this, like you crying and all up, like you all in my face. You keep trying to fight me. You pushing me and shit.
Because I care about you.
That's what you do when you care about somebody. You try to beat on them.
Yeah, this sound like BPD for sure.
That's not what love is, bro. Like, what the fuck?
So what happened?
I'm just trying to go home. No, bro, I'm just trying to go home so that to prevent any fucking thing from going wrong, bro.
Anything for what, Cat?
Okay. Right now, I'm about to clear up some confusion that I may have caused. Answer the most frequent questions I've seen in the comments, and please don't be mistaken. I'm not answering this for y'all. I'm answering this because the family and mother and her loved ones might have these questions as well. First of all, when I posted this video originally, I mistakenly hashtagged BPD. Upon reading the comments and doing some better research, I discovered that is not the correct abbreviation for her diagnosis.
What is it?
Okay, so BPD is short for borderline personality disorder. That was not her diagnosis. That was my mistake. She was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, type 2, manic depression, and psychosis. So, people that are talking about BPD are not wrong. I put that in the hashtags on accident. Second thing, We were not in a relationship. This woman identified as straight when I met her. Who is Jason? I can't say everything that I know about him because it's not my place to. But Jason is the father of her then 7-year-old son, who also lived 2 houses, 3 houses away from her. Now, I didn't find anything out about him. I don't know what she was talking about with that, unless she was trying to tell me something. Why did you keep going over there? You was playing with her. You was leading her on. You should have left it alone. Why didn't you leave? You should have. We hadn't seen each other in almost 2.5, maybe 3 weeks. And we had limited our messages. Like I said, we cut back. Why were you laughing? I tried to explain part of that in the caption, but taking accountability for one of the times that I laughed, it was not out of nervousness. It was when I asked her, what did I say to make you upset? And she said, because you make everything that makes me upset. I'm sorry, that was funny to me. Because like I said, later on you'll understand when I was saying that she just was saying incoherent.
So you're the one who lost Boss's goods. Boss sent me to repay you. Oh, have something to say. Be careful now. I don't want to hear anything that might damage.
The goods were stolen. I always change my routes, but that guy knew right where I'd be.
So you're saying that he must have known your route in advance?
I don't know. Maybe it was a ghost?
A ghost? Is that so? Why don't you tell me more?
It was too fast. Red. Yes, it was red. And it leapt from the shadows. Once it sets its sights on you, there's no escape.
Really? Boss hates liars. Keep this up.
Yeah.
Before the video started, that kind of made me think something was actually wrong. And
she was under the influence
I did not know about this diagnosis before this video was taken. I found out after she passed. Why did I bring more alcohol over there? We met at a job. She had gotten laid off, and I got laid off like 10 days after that. Before we had gotten laid off, we already decided that we needed to chill. Like, this woman was straight. She has a son. She hit me up saying she was sad about losing the job and that she was feeling strange and she didn't want to be at home alone. She just wanted to have a couple drinks. On Thursday, she was like, okay, I'll have some liquor by then. I was like, all right, I will too. So, of course, we met up. I'm thinking, I'm gonna go over there and tell a couple jokes, you know what I'm saying? Make sure she good type shit. When I arrived, she was already approaching her limit. But I don't know her limit, she does. So I said, what's up, I'm here, let's take a shot. I took my shot, I sat down on the couch. She sat down on a separate couch and we started talking. She turned on music through the TV and it was playing on a sound bar. Both of those were on top of a mantle with photos and everything above a fireplace. And she was just kind of saying incoherent stuff to anything that I said. What you been doing? Did you watch the new episode of Good Girls? I think is what we were watching at the time. Mm-hmm. She was like, no, I just don't think so. I just don't think so right now. I'm like, what? So I'm like, okay, she's just probably drunk. So I'm chilling on the other couch. She turned on the music. I think I already said that. So music is playing and then she tried to get up to approach me on the other couch and dance. I declined and I stood up. And I was like, come on now, that's not why I'm over here. Like, I thought you were upset. I came here to, make sure you good. Come check up on you. I'm not trying to do that. And she was like, what? I'm like, nah, for real. You know, I'm smiling. I'm like, nah, for real. Like, chill. Like, we not doing that. Like, again, we both agreed to stop doing, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. And we had stopped for weeks. I hadn't seen her prior to this date in person. You don't care about me? Tell me right now. I'm like, huh? She was like, you don't want me? You never wanted me. Why can't I dance on you? You know I love to dance. And she starts crying. And she was like, you know what? Just leave. Just go. I grabbed my motherfucking keys. Y'all, I'm scared. The moment I grabbed those keys, that was it. And I tried to step toward the door, physical. I remember a point I had gotten out of the door and she was grabbing me by the hoodie I had on. And she was like, man, the neighbors out here, you embarrassing me, get back in here so we can talk. Wasn't no neighbors outside, y'all, sorry, it wasn't. She has a hold of my hoodie, pulled me back in. When I got in the house, pushing me, trying to swing, telling me to fight her and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, not trying to fight you. Like, I don't understand where all of this is coming from. Oh, I mean, I did, because I was.
What's sad is that the family knew about this and didn't even tell her. Like, so she had to experience this and didn't know what was going on, but her family being knew that she was diagnosed with this. Crazy, man.
Sticking to my boundaries of us trying to remain platonic. Pushed me down on the couch. And that's when I was like, oh my God, I'm in a movie. Like, pull my phone out, started recording. Now, the crash that you hear before she says, tell me, was the TV, the sound bar, and everything on that mantle. So she took from her hands and went from left to right and swiped everything from that mantle. Right after this video stopped, she was like, when she said, prevent what, Kat? I'm like, prevent anything from going wrong. Like, I've been having bad dreams about you trying to burn the trailer down and harm both of us, blah, blah, blah. She said, you know what, fuck this. Got out of my face, went to the back room. I'm talking about stomping, tantrum. Straight to the back room. Baby, I was out the door. I didn't know what else to do. I was already trying to leave. Y'all keep saying I should have left. Y'all keep saying I should have never went over there. I was trying to support my friend, bro. She wasn't blowing me up with messages and, you know, still trying to figure out where I was. I was like, okay, I guess she, you know, she said, fuck it.
It's
Wasn't
crazy.
the case.
They're coming straight at me. Trust me, I've got nothing.
It's crazy that a woman intuition, she just said she'd been having dreams about something, about her wanting to harm something. It's crazy what's going on, what went on.
Side note, this was in 2019. I was 23, she was 33. It was raining. She got in the car, I guess trying to come after me, like come in the direction that she knew that I would be going. Speeding in the rain, no shoes on, a shirt and underwear. She went off the side of the road, flipped a couple times, and was ejected through the windshield.
Oh.
Or I think a day later, the coroner called me. He was like, hey, I'm calling about the deceased. Did you work with her? Somebody said they seen your car there 30 minutes before she passed. Do you know why she would be in a rush like that? She didn't have on any clothes. Why, you know, what happened? After that, I started scrolling through my phone, through my call log. I found her mother's number just to check on her because I knew she had gotten the news because Jason appeared to the scene. So he did see, he saw it. I didn't see it. She was like, what did you do to my daughter?
Wow.
She said, Jason saw your car there. He said you were there. He said the house was trash. He said stuff was thrown everywhere. Oh, Lord.
Wow. I assumed that she was assuming that I hurt her. However, she damaged her own belongings and I didn't move anything from its place. Just imagine if she didn't record this too, y'all. Like, just imagine. Like, in the way people grieve, man, is you ain't got no control. Y'all just seen the reaction video we did. Like, Jason, whatever it is to her, could have offed her. Y'all seen one of the reactions we just did.
Lord, y'all, I froze up. I wanted to call her and try to console her and tell her everything was okay. She was like, everything is not okay. My daughter is dead. And when she said that, broke down crying. And then she was crying. I couldn't bring myself to tell her what actually happened. Like, no, the family has never seen this video. The family per se didn't blame me, but the way that the mother was asking the questions, I felt like she thought that there was some foul play, which in some of y'all's opinion there was. Somebody said she'd still be alive if you didn't go over there. Somebody said,
wow,
why would you keep playing with her emotions like that? Y'all,
That's a
thank
good
God
one.
I have had counseling and dealt with this, because boy, y'all would have
Good thing.
broke me down.
Yeah, I say good thing she had counseling, because man, telling you, bro.
After this all happened, every car that passed that looked like hers, I was checking to see if it was her. I was having dreams, and not the same dreams, but she was saying the same thing in different dreams. I didn't die. I'm not dead. And I knew it was my self-conscious because the last time I saw her, she was alive. But yeah, I was like, oh no, I gotta go do something. So I did. A lot of things have changed in my life since. I am married now. I don't blame myself. I
Saw the
don't
ring.
think that anything I could have done would have changed the situation, other than, like y'all said, just staying home. I was aware of what type of doors this would open by posting this, so I'm cool. I mean, I have been deleting comments of y'all calling her crazy and obsessed and all this other stuff because, again, taking accountability, we were doing stuff that people in relationships do, and not
Understood.
just intercourse. Meeting each other's families. I was at a parent-teacher conference for her son, spending time together every day. She met my mother, two of my siblings.
She sound like a dude right here. That's literally what we'd do. Do all that it is like, no, we ain't want a relationship. And then y'all be like, is it basically what she was doing was unintentional manipulation. It's a lot of us guys do it because we really stand on the word that we say, and we be like, nah, we really don't be knowing that things can go left. We don't really think that far ahead. You know what I'm saying? So nothing she did was intentional. Like, it's just like an unintentional thing, but people would consider that manipulation. You get what I'm saying? I've been called that plenty of times. And when I matured, I understood that a lot of the things that I done when I was younger, like, I'm young anyway, I'm only 25, but when I was like 20, you know what I'm saying, 19 or something like that, like I was in the same type of stuff, meeting people, family, bringing them over, cooking them, doing boyfriend stuff, and just standing on, I don't want no relationship, you know?
She came to eat after like a Sunday dinner at my people's house. Like, all of those are things that people in relationships do that's not just the S word. I thought we were on the same page. I thought we knew we're just friends, but apparently in her mind,
y'all was building something.
It wasn't that. But that's the story time of that night. So thank y'all for sharing awareness about y'all's disorders and things that y'all have been through. I see y'all helping each other out in the comments. I love that. But yeah, that's just...
Sorry to ruin your groove. Isn't that the worst? What if I told you that there was a way for you to skip ads like this forever? This is Pi, and if it sounds familiar to you, it's probably because you've seen their ads everywhere, especially this one. It's a free Chrome extension that blocks ads basically everywhere else you go online. And no, it's not one of those sketchy ad blocks.
That's it. Well, I'll open the floor for y'all to give me y'all input and thoughts. And I say personally, man, it's not her fault. And at the end of the day, she didn't have no control over the outcome of what happened. You know what I'm saying? But the smartest thing she ever did was literally leave. That was probably the smartest thing that she could do. Because like she said, she already been having dreams that she was trying to set the trailer on fire and all these other things to harm them both. But in reality, unfortunately, the lady ended up harming herself. I'm positive that you know, that the mother was having a hard time grieving or really figuring out just what happened to her daughter. Nobody have any answers. You're the last person that's seen. I genuinely think that probably the best thing she could have done was probably show her mom that video before posting it on TikTok. Because if that's the first time they seen it on TikTok, I'm gonna be honest, I would be very upset because, like, just imagine throughout the years, if this happened in 2019, just imagine throughout the years of just confusion that she had regarding, like, you get what I'm saying? Like what really happened at home? And now she really has the clarification now, and it probably just re-triggered all her emotions and everything.
So the video was 2019? And it just came out 3 weeks ago. Then that's crazy.
All over again from whatever it was that she once had regarding her daughter. You know what I'm saying? So I do hope that I misheard when she said that she never showed her the video before posting it. But at the same time, like, she had to go through her own grieving process. And I'm not going to say that people think logically in a situation like that, especially if they feel they're being blamed. I'm more than positive that she showed the cops everything that was needed to be seen. And possibly not the family, because at the end of the day, it probably would have never changed anything for real. They probably could have looked at it like, why was you there? Why was y'all arguing? What really happened? Like, would have been more questions. But ain't no telling. It's some if, ands, what ifs, what do's, don'ts, or whatever it is. Hates to know that this lady had to walk around with the gut feeling to know that she was the last person that to see that lady before she passed away, and to feel like that it was just even her fault. But yeah, y'all let me know y'all thoughts and opinions on this down below, man. Prayers out to the family of that's lost. Prayers out to just even her mental, emotional state, man. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, man. We 50,000 off of 1 million subscribers. Let's get it. Let's go, man.
Business taxes was always so all-consuming. Now business taxes is having a TurboTax small business expert who handles your taxes for you. With year-round advice and answers at no extra cost. So you have more time and money for your business. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax.
Acellus Academy is an online accredited school where students learn through an accelerated teaching model. One of the
Yo, what's going on, y'all boys, man? Today we obviously have a pretty crazy video, man. It's something wild, you know what I'm saying? But it's something true, and I just want to stop and give my condolences to the family of this angel, you know, who gained her wings fairly early, you know, and I want to let you know to keep God close to y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just never know what situation you will end up in. You never know just when your time will come, you know what I'm saying? So y'all make sure to live your life at the fullest, man, because just when you feel like things are going great, you could be smiling, laughing, like what y'all finna possibly see in the video, like it can be taken away from you, you know, and you can be very innocent. You don't even have to do nothing with anything, man. It's just crazy how the world works, you know. But I mean, I don't question God, man. If it was my time, it was my time. But some of these people, it's just wild, man. It's a wild time we live in. But let's go and get into this video right now, man. Make sure if y'all enjoy this reaction that you hit that thumbs up. Let's get it. Let's go.
This is 20-year-old Tanisha Hammonds with her 8-month-old son. 2 days before Christmas Day of 2018, her life came to a brutal end while she was recording a Facebook Live video. But Tanisha's death stood at the end of a long list of tragic tit for tats. In a hopeful scenario, her shocking death was a wake-up call for the rough Bloomfield crowds. In
Shaking my head. Beautiful young girl, man. Beautiful young lady.
a more pessimistic scenario, it was another victim of an endless, senseless war. Tanisha never got to see her baby grow up, and she was not the only one in her family whose life was cut short in a brutal, senseless way. And yet, after her death, people seemed more interested in her last Facebook Live than in her poor, grieving family. So why did Tanisha die? And what are all of the events that led to her untimely demise? This is the full story of Tanisha Hammonds. Today's story, you guys, takes us to Macon, Georgia, home to the Allman Brothers.
Macon. Every time I'm doing a reaction video, y'all know it always happened in Georgia.
Oh yeah, yep. Okay, buddy.
Every time I'm doing a reaction video, y'all know it.
Okay, buddy. When I see this picture, yeah, I knew what was going on.
Always happened in Georgia.
Brothers Band, tons of historic architecture, and amazing natural sceneries. Macon seems to have it all. But lately, Macon has also seen a rise in poverty and crime that makes it a less desirable place to move and start a family. According to Crime Grade, Macon has a crime rating of D-. This means 89% of cities in the United States are safer than Macon, and only 11% of cities are more dangerous. Tanisha Hammonds was used to violence and crime since she was a baby. Tanisha was born on October 10th, 1998, to her mom Rhonda and an unnamed father. They grew up in the Bloomfield area, which is known for a particularly high crime rate. However, Tanisha always worked hard to stay out of trouble and pursue a happy, peaceful life. In March 2018, she had a son, Amari. Her Facebook was filled with pictures of her baby boy, and she was ecstatic about being a mom. She was also pretty excited about social media.
Dang, man, I hate that little 15-minute, man. I gave him a little laugh, though. He gonna be good tonight. He finna go think about me. Myself in, I got myself in. Time is money. I need that money. Got no time for no friends.
She regularly posts and let all of her loved ones know what she was up to or what Amari had done that day. It was her way of connecting with all of her friends at the same time. But Tanisha liked going out too. She might have been a mom, but she was 20 years old, and she was still down to party every now and then. So on December 23rd, 2018, Tanisha met up with a few old friends and went out to have drinks. But Tanisha never made it home that night.
Concentrate fire on the target. Enemy battleship sunk. Enemy battleship detected. Enemy submarine spotted. Attention, reporting the target position. Enemy heavily damaged. Enemy battleship detected. Enemy battleship foundered.
Tanisha's death was brutal, sudden, and shocking to everyone who knew her. She had no enemies, had never been involved in gangs, and was incredibly dedicated to raising her son. She would never put herself in harm's way.
Beautiful young man. It's so sad that this young woman or this young kid got to grow up without his mother, man. And this world is crazy. I'm sorry I'm pausing.
Not with an 8-month-old to care for. However, there is a reason for her death, as outrageous as it is, and we have to trace back several steps to understand the full context that led to this tragic ending. Tanisha was very close to her mother, but she was even closer to her mother's sister, Bridget Flowers. Bridget was her aunt, but also her best friend, confidant, and the person Tanisha would call in case of an emergency. The two displayed their love for each other on social media. Tanisha also felt embarrassed by the many pictures her aunt lot posted of her, especially during her teenage years. Like when Bridget posted this picture of Tanisha, she commented, "Jess blowed me. Delete this ugly shit." And her aunt replied, "You took it. You can't be ugly because you look like me." You know how family dynamics go. Still, they were the best of friends, and nothing could keep them apart. In fact, Tanisha spent most of her childhood living with Bridget and her two twin sons, Jayshawn and Jamon Jackson. They were born in 2000, making them 2 years Tanisha's juniors. Growing up, Tanisha's cousins were happy-go-lucky, rowdy, and kind-hearted. They were exactly what you'd expect from two young brothers. Bridget was super proud of them. She was also in love with her husband, the boy's stepfather. Sometimes she would tell Facebook about her love for them. God, my kids, my hubby, then me, in that order. Bridget would also write about how much she missed her husband when he wasn't there. At first glance, it looked like the perfect love story. "I miss my husband, feeling some type of way this morning." But those who knew Bridget, her undying loyalty to him was worrying. Jacinto Flowers was a with Bridget in almost every way you can imagine. He would beat her, insult her, and be extremely jealous and possessive of her. She wasn't allowed to do anything but him. Well, that's when the double standards begin. He would be going out at night, doing God knows what, and Bridget hardly ever knew what he was up to. As it turns out, he was deeply involved in the drug trade. He was in and out of prison 18 times on drug and petty crime charges. So when Bridget said she missed him, he was either in prison or doing sketchy deals. And when he was at home, they would constantly fight. And while you can imagine how he would treat his stepsons too. He could not regulate his emotions, nor was he a responsible figure that the boys could look up to. In fact, he was one of the most unstable types of parents out there. Sadly, the negative effects of his character on Jayshawn and Jamon would be felt later on. Nevertheless, Bridget supported and even loved her husband, no matter how many times he would mistreat her or her kids. Well, even she had a limit. So in late 2013 or early 2014, Bridget put an end to her marriage. Guys, I know this is not your first true crime case, so I bet you know how this ends.
Yeah.
Jacinto, being the violent, possessive person he was, would not leave Bridget alone. He wanted her back at any cost. He even threatened to take her life, then his, if she didn't take him back. Wait, what sane person would accept going back into a relationship with someone who threatens to kill them? Of course, Bridget didn't want anything to do with him anymore. In fact, she was scared for her life and for her twin sons. On February 14th, 2014, Bridget
Love is a crazy drug, man. Love is
went
a
out to
crazy
shop
drug.
at Walmart. Out of nowhere, Jacinto appeared and punched her so hard she lost
Wow.
consciousness. He was not fazed by this. He just left her on the floor and exited the store in front of several shocked bystanders and a CCTV camera. Jacinto didn't seem to have any regard for Bridget's life anymore, or for his freedom. After all, he'd been in prison so many times, he probably didn't care if he ended up arrested again. And arrested he was. But here's an absurd twist. After 7 days in jail, Jacinto was released. Wait a minute. What? Jacinto
7
had a
days.
horrible criminal record. There were also accounts of gruesome physical abuse toward his wife, and now there was this Walmart incident. Was no one at the police preoccupied that Jacinto would attack his ex-wife again if they released him? He was erratic, a violent man who showed no remorse
They
at
knew.
his arrest.
They
It's pretty
definitely-
crazy that he only spent 1 week in jail. And it's pretty heartbreaking too, considering what happens next.
Building your online business? Go to Wix.com and set up your store on a single integrated platform. Add products, showcase them dynamically, and seamlessly track your inventory. Accept multiple secure payments, and design your storefront down to the very last detail. Get all the tools you need. Drive more sales with customizable gift cards and flexible product subscriptions. Retain customers with a point-based loyalty program, email automations, and reach millions with sales channel integrations. Complete your setup with a personalized analytics dashboard. Make smart business decisions and shape the next phase of your business. Build, manage, and grow from one place. Go to Wix and launch your online business today.
Sad,
On
man.
February 22nd, 2014, Bridget, her mother, her sister, and their friend had a cookout at Bridget's house. Late in the evening, they wanted some more drinks to keep the party going. Bridget went to get the drinks at the nearby liquor store, but on her way back, she decided to drop off her friend at her place. They were still in her driveway when Bridget's friend started arguing with her boyfriend. Lo and behold, Jacinto appeared. Now he appeared concerned about the couple's fight, so he walked closer to the car to ask what was going on.
Where you are.
A second later, Jacinto seemed to distance himself from the fight. He took a step back, pulled out his gun, and shot Bridget in the face.
Damn.
She died on the spot, in front of all of her friends and family. Her
Wow.
poor sons would find out about this in just a few hours. Jacinto was arrested that night. Some people couldn't believe that he'd kill Bridget less than 24 hours after his release.
Wow.
Other people couldn't believe he was released in the first place. Sickeningly, he showed zero remorse again. In fact, he seemed pretty proud of his deed. Just look at his face during the trial. This is the expression he gave Bridget's family. This is how much he cared for his wife. The wife that stood by him and gushed over him on Facebook
Wow.
for years on end. Jacinto will spend the rest of his life behind bars, but his horrible legacy left many holes in the family.
You know, once you get tired, you're tired. You know, and she was tired of it. She was like, well, I'm done with you. But I still don't know from this day to that one what would possess you to just kill somebody you say you love so much.
And in a dark and disturbing way, he started the domino effect that ended with Tanisha Hammond's death.
Wow. Mother and
Tanisha
daughter.
was devastated to hear about
I mean,
her
aunt.
aunt's
My
death.
bad.
It was so infuriating too. She had tried so hard to get away from his toxic behavior, and the police didn't help with the situation at all. She wrote on Facebook, "I lost my auntie, and that up my family. Used to see her every day, and now we say RIP. That, cause he knows he took part of me. I close my eyes to go to sleep and see him in my dreams. Hard for my grandmother to keep her head up. We see him in court and he smiled at her. How TF you live with some shit like that, especially when you said you loved her and had her back. But it's a cold world and them big facts. I can't blame you though. I knew you was a rat." Exactly. How can you say you love someone and then take their life when they ask you to set them free? A few years later, Bridget's family started a lawsuit
Facts.
against the Bibb County Sheriff's Office, stating Jacinto should have never been granted bail after 7 days. They had all the information they needed about his history. They could have made an informed choice and kept him locked up. And then there were Jay Sean and Jamon. The twins had had Jacinto as their dad for most of their lives. They'd learned to trust him and look up to him, even when he was
Ooh,
at
that
his
had to been
lowest.
hard.
Now he'd taken their mother away in such a brutal way, and they were only 14 years old when it happened. It's unknown how much they showed or expressed their grief. What is known, however, is the way they acted it out. Jay Sean and Jamon went off to live with their grandmother, but at the same time, they joined a terrifying gang in the Bloomfield area. Now they would occupy most of their time getting into fights with rival gangs, and it would be one fight at Northeast High School that would have a tragic butterfly effect on their entire family. When they were 18, Jay Sean and Jamon had started a feud with 16-year-old Kendrick Davis. Jamon had seen Kendrick streaming on Facebook Live. He was bragging about firing his gun at the houses of Jamon's friends. Jamon
What?
was so angered by this, he wanted to get his revenge.
See?
And you know how gang violence often
I didn't want to start this, y'all, because I don't want to keep pausing, but I'm going to save what I was going to say. If I would have said that, what I was just thinking before she just said this, it would have made so much sense, but I'm going to wait.
escalates senselessly from a nasty word to murder in broad daylight. It really shouldn't be like this. But when there are angry
Think this is worth risking our lives?
So easily spooked by a bedtime story.
hormonal teenagers and guns involved, it can end up really bad. So Jamon called on his friends and cousins to confront Kendrick. Kendrick and his gang were ready too. He knew a fight was coming, so he'd rallied up his boys as well. One day, the gang set a time and a place to settle their beef after school. But there were dozens of teens involved, and some were more violent than others. Some threw punches, others threw rocks, and then someone pulled out a gun. Kendrick Davis died that
Wow.
night. Imagine the pain his family felt. He was only 16. He hadn't even finished school or had a proper relationship. However, Jayshawn and Jamon felt nothing. Shocking, I know. Somehow Jamon wasn't affected by seeing his rival dying in front of him. If anything, he wanted to exert more revenge on his gang. Was his grief so terrible and so unprocessed that this was the only way he could cope with it? A few days after Kendrick's death, the twins and their gang went to Kendrick's house to do a drive-by shooting. Kendrick was gone, but his mother was there. Imagine what this did to her after she'd already lost her son. Jamon and 3 boys from his crew were arrested that night. They were charged with homicide and sent to prison for a long time. But the tit for tat doesn't stop there. Jamon had really poked the tiger coming to Kendrick's home after he'd already been killed. His friends were now out for blood. There was still Jayshawn to punish and several other gang members. And so, our story finally...
It was that scene from Don't Be a Menace, y'all. Yeah.
Already lost her son. Jamon and 3 boys from his crew were arrested that night. They were charged with homicide and sent to prison for a long time. But the tit for tat doesn't stop there. Jamon had really poked the tiger coming to Kendrick's home after he'd already been killed. His friends were now out for blood. There was still Jayshawn to punish and several other gang members. And so, our story finally comes back to Tanisha. On December 23rd, 2018, Tanisha was out with Jayshawn and 3 other friends. Tanisha was driving while Jayshawn was seated next to her and streaming live on Facebook. Tanisha appeared on the Facebook Live, chatting and making jokes. It's unknown just how many people were watching this video in real time, but sadly, they witnessed Tanisha get killed that night. The car then crashed, and Jayshawn's phone fell to the floorboard. People could be heard screaming, crying, and trying to call 911.
Stop! Stop! I need help! I'll go for your road!
Heartbreakingly, Tanisha bled out in front of her loved ones within a matter of seconds. By the time the paramedics arrived, it was already too late to save her life.
She was pronounced here behind us here at 8:50.
Tanisha was killed by a member of the twins' rival gang. He mistook Tanisha for Jayshawn. Poor Tanisha had been surrounded by gang violence since a very young age. There are rumors of her father being involved in some illegal business, and her brother DeMarcus was part of the twins' gang and was arrested after the drive-by shooting. Then there was Jacinto and Bridget's tragic death. And yet she had steered clear of gangs and drugs throughout her whole life. Now she was a mother. She wanted nothing else than to love her son and to see him grow up. Tanisha was just at the wrong place at the wrong time, in a world filled with vengeful, violent people. Just like Jayshawn and Jamon once had to do, baby Amari would go on to live with his grandmother. He will never remember his mother. He was only 8 months old at the time of Tanisha's murder. But this is not the end of Tanisha Hammond's story, because what happened next was another proof that we live in a messed up world. News of Tanisha's death and the haunting Facebook Live video made headlines throughout the country. This sparked the old conversation about gun violence. It was a particularly relevant conversation for the communities of Macon and Bloomfield. In 2018 alone, 40 people lost their lives to homicide by gun in that neighborhood. Tanisha was the 40th. However, this was, as always, a conversation. Nothing was done to make Bloomfield safer, and nothing was done to bring Tanisha's killer to justice. You heard right. Jayshawn went to the police that night to tell them the whole story of their gang feud. He said he was certain it was someone from Kendrick's crew that offed Tanisha in an attempt to kill him. The police made a list of potential names and promised to follow up. However, there was no hard evidence linking anyone to Tanisha's death, so the case went cold and no one was ever arrested for it. Even after Kendrick's crew did a drive-by shooting of Tanisha's mother's house, the police didn't get involved. I know, disgusting. Tanisha's poor mother lived in fear for her life too. When she was contacted by the media for comments, Rhonda said she couldn't show her face on camera.
They also declined to speak on camera, saying they were fearful for their own safety, since the killer could still be on the loose.
Other people in the neighborhood were just as secretive. They even feared that ratting the killer out to the police could get them a death warrant. Some parents refused to let their kids out to play anymore.
It's sad, you know what I'm saying?
The world.
Come out and play, but it's just too dangerous right now these days.
Sadly, people's fear only worked in the killer's favor. Eventually, Rhonda converted her daughter's Facebook page to a memorial page. 3 years after Tanisha's death, Rhonda wrote, "3 years ago, I got the worst news a mother could receive. You were gone. My best friend, my oldest child was gone. It seems like it was yesterday, and I have to ask God why so many times. You don't supposed to do that. He needed you more, I guess. Rest on, baby girl." As if the lack of justice for Tanisha wasn't messed up enough, here's another cut to the story.
A young mother shot to death just days before Christmas. The whole thing caught on camera, and that video somehow made its way online and racked up more than 200,000 views.
Yep, instead of remembering Tanisha for the bright, kind person she was, or instead of supporting her family through this horrible time, people seemed much more into finding the video of her death. Facebook soon took the horrifying video off the website. But you know how when you post something online, it doesn't really disappear with a simple delete? People can download it before you delete it, and before you know it, the video resurfaces on the dark web. Soon after Tanisha's murder, a website called Fly Height uploaded the terrifying Facebook Live video. Millions of people watched the video over and over again. That morbid curiosity prevailed over her family's repeated pleas to delete the video.
You emailed flyhigh.com and said,
you know, once it's on the internet, it's out there. But I'm like, as much damage control as y'all could do, please take it down.
Tanisha's would-be sister-in-law, Sarah McMiller, explained she tried hard to take the video down, but it kept popping up on various shady websites. Her biggest concern was Tanisha's baby son growing up to see the gruesome way his mother died.
Amari's not gonna be a baby forever. Her son's gonna have a social media one day. I would hate for him to come across.
You see that with that mother?
You have a heart. Take it down. Think of her child. If you won't take it down for anybody else, think of her mother and her child.
It's really sad to watch how more people go for the immediate satisfaction of watching something this dark and brutal rather than respecting a grieving family's pleas. Also, is there that much satisfaction in watching someone get killed on camera? If I were you, I wouldn't go looking for things like this online. There's no good that can come out of seeing real life violence. Thankfully, Fly Height took the video down some months later. Isn't it super scary that a video you don't want online could make its way to so many websites? According to an expert in online safety, if you're the one who recorded that video, you're its rightful owner. So you can ask any website to take it down.
So you could absolutely go to a website and say, I have copyright in this particular video. There is a copy of that video located on your website. I'm the copyright owner and I want it taken down.
But what if it's a video of you, not recorded by you? This was the tricky case of Tanisha Hammonds. She was not around anymore, and the video had been recorded on Jay Sean's phone. Tanisha's Facebook Live craze seems to be over, but for Tanisha's family, the story is far from over. First and foremost, they want justice for her. Exactly. How can you move on and heal your wounds when nothing was done to arrest your loved one's killer? This is one of the things that makes Tanisha's death so tragic. The other factor is the incredibly complicated sequence of events that led to her murder. There wasn't just one person responsible. From the inherited trauma of living in a rough neighborhood to Jacinto, several people can be held accountable for Tanisha's death. Jacinto was a terrible role model for Jay Sean and Jamon. Then he killed their mother. He left a huge hole in their lives and pushed them to a violent lifestyle where they could channel their repressed anger. Then the twins escalated a feud until it ended with murder. Then they escalated it some more, and it was Tanisha who paid with her life. Will this tragic death act as a wake-up call for the Bloomfield teens involved in gangs? Is this enough to get people thinking or make them feel remorse for their violent style? Or is Tanisha just one short chapter in an endless book of gun violence and gang feud?
Want to pay less to get your taxes done for you? We'll beat your Tax Pros price from last year. Switch to a TurboTax full-service expert and get your taxes done right for less. Hand off your taxes to an expert now.
And to be 100, y'all, I personally feel like that this is not the end. It's sad to say, but it's going to take a village. It's going to take the world for certain things like this to go on. And it's just so much stuff going on now that it's really hard to say or dictate what really goes on with the world. But what I've been meaning to say, what I've been wanting just to say throughout this entire video is that their upbringing just as children and what happened with starting from our auntie, that fueled a lot of fire within them twins' mind. I couldn't imagine seeing my mother get killed by the person that she supposedly loved most and said that loved her most. Like in front of everybody. Just imagine what was, if them dudes still would have been alive, right? They would have, I mean, if he would have been out of jail, they would have found him and took him out. It would have been in jail either way. But it's just one of them things to where it's sad to see the domino effect of how things start off and where it go. When they were young, their mother passed away, they grew up, and all of that feud in their heart definitely probably influenced a lot of the decisions that they did make. Granted, it's more so of a thing like, where's their father at? They don't have no father figure, just the streets. And growing up and learning in the streets is a lot different now, especially than it was back then. There's a lot more respect back then. When you learn about the streets, you knew what you were into in a way, and you respected what you were into and what not to get into. These kids now, they don't care what they get into. They don't care if you not in nothing. Kids, mothers, whatever. And it's sad to know that the one who didn't really have nothing to do with it was the one that lost her life. But I mean, they go see old dude in jail, so they probably go handle him in jail because they in there probably for life as well. But it's just sad to see the domino of effect. Now her mother house got shot at. Like it's a never ending story of this triangle. Y'all understand what I'm saying, man? And make sure if y'all enjoy my reaction video, make sure to just go ahead and get this video a huge thumb up. Make sure you tap in, you hit that notification, man, and let's go. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Make sure y'all spam RIP down below for this lost soul, and man, prayers to her family. You know what I'm saying? But let's go, y'all. We out.
This game, you're not ready for it.
You're in the middle of this beautiful sci-fi environment, and you're seeing intrigue, the espionage, the alliances form, the power that just shifts around, and it's amazing to watch.
This is primary, Julia, secondary. Simple actions can have massive effects.
You can cooperate with people, compete with them, make friendships, deceive them, betray them.
It's amazing to think that it's all just other players.
More players start coming. It just starts this complete cascade of actions, and you don't know what's going to happen.
Here it comes.
It is a free-for-all. People get locked up and shot instantly. People start dying left, right, and center. It's just something that you can't get anywhere else. It's just the rush like no other.
All good movies. Everybody's on this journey and writing their own stories, and that is probably the simplest way I can describe it.
Things continue to change and evolve. It's awesome. I love it. Part of Eve.
It's not working? You touch this, right? Yeah. And then M, G, and then you touch E.
Well, we're going to stay in Chicago. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, says it arrested more than 1,000 people after detaining another 1,000 on Sunday in raids that immigrant communities and their allies say violate the Constitution and are being carried out in retaliation against sanctuary cities. Newly sworn-in Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem is in New York City now on an ICE raid that was covered live, and agents have been told to be camera ready. She was live tweeting the raid. Soon we'll go to Newark, where Mayor Ras Baraka denounced a warrantless ICE raid Thursday that detained a U.S. veteran and other U.S. citizens. But we begin today's show in Chicago, where ICE officially launched, quote, Enhanced Targeted Operations Sunday with the TV personality Dr. Phil joining Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, and streaming the immigration raids live by about 10 teams of about 10 federal agents each. Nearly half those arrested Sunday had no criminal record. ICE says collateral arrests will continue as it claims to target people who are dangerous. On Friday, school officials in Chicago refused to allow agents into an elementary school who were actually not ICE agents, but from the U.S. Secret Service. This comes as 4 Chicago-based immigrant rights groups have sued to stop the raids, and Chicago City Council voted this month not to lift limits on involvement in federal immigration enforcement actions. On Monday, the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee launched an investigation of Chicago and several other sanctuary cities. We go right now to Chicago, where we're joined by Dulce Guzman, Executive Director of Alianza America. She's also a recipient of DACA, that's Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. Dulce, thank you for joining us. Can you talk about what's happening in your city?
Yes, thank you for inviting me. In the city and surrounding suburbs, there is a lot of palpable fear and anxiety among families. As you just said, there was over 1,100 ICE arrests across the country, and we still don't know about how many of those were from Chicago. What we have heard from families is that many are choosing to stay home. Many are choosing to not send their kids to school. Several businesses are reporting that they're seeing less business people coming in. So there's a lot of fear and anxiety that is spreading for the same reason that we know that ICE is not only targeting people with criminal backgrounds, but they're targeting people that have been here for many years who have not committed any crime, who are our neighbors.
And Dulce, even those that they claim are folks with criminal backgrounds, apparently many are actually minor infractions. There was a report of a man in Waukegan who was picked up by immigration authorities for deportation, who apparently had who'd been in the country for 20 years and had 2 DUIs, driving under the influence convictions in the past. What about these minor crimes being treated under federal law as aggravated felonies?
Yeah, I think that this administration is trying to make a point about public safety when we know that this is not about public safety. If this really was about public safety and legality, we would not have seen the 1,500 pardons of people that stormed the Capitol and caused violent crimes on police officers. I believe that this is a very high media strategy that's being used to elevate what this administration is trying to push, which is a white supremacist agenda.
And also, Illinois does not permit the detention of people who are subject to potential deportation. So where are the people that ICE is picking up in Chicago and the surrounding areas? Where are they being sent?
As of now, we don't know, but we suspect that they might be going to nearby states like Indiana, where Indiana does allow detention centers.
Dulce, we want to go across the country from Chicago back here on the East Coast to Newark. Dulce Guzman is with Executive Director of Alianza Americas. In Newark, New Jersey, another sanctuary city, which is in a state where nearly 1 in 4 residents are foreign-born, nearly half of all children are part of immigrant families. 3 days after President Trump's inauguration, ICE agents raided a seafood depot in Newark without a warrant, taking 3 people into custody, including a U.S. military veteran. This is the Newark mayor, Ras Baraka, condemning the raids.
It's a slippery slope when we think it's okay to suspend the Constitution of the United States in order to make a political point or statement. And if we allow people to identify us or put us in categories of criminal or any other thing just by the way we look, then we're going back to a time that was very dangerous in this country, specifically for people that looked like me.
For more, we're joined by Amy Torres, Executive Director of the New Jersey Alliance for Immigrant Justice. She was on the ground soon after the raid took place, and you're the largest immigrant group in New Jersey. Talk about what happened. Describe the scene for us in Ironbound, one of the most diverse areas of Newark.
Sure. I mean, I think it's important to understand what the Ironbound is. This has been an immigrant enclave and hub for ever, starting with the Portuguese whaling industry, something that is so archaic, it's like outside of our living memory, right? So this is not the sort of like new arrivals, the criminal gangs, all of the things that this administration says that they're targeting. The other thing is that, ICE has called what they're doing across the country targeted enforcement operations. They refuse to call the detention centers camps. They refuse to call deportations anything but expulsions. Now they're refusing to call raids anything but raids, right? But what we're seeing is that ICE officers stormed this workplace. They immediately announced, do you want this announcement in Spanish or Portuguese? If this is a targeted enforcement operation, don't ICE officers know what they're enforcing? Don't they know what languages they're speaking if they're targeting certain people for arrest? And if this is such a targeted enforcement operation, why are U.S. citizens and veterans being interrogated and detained on the spot and having their credentials questioned? I think it's really important above all else to understand what our constitutional rights are.
Did they have a warrant?
They didn't produce a warrant, and subsequently they haven't produced one since. So look, understanding what our rights are, presidential administrations come and go, right? ICE directives come and go. The Constitution is here to stay, and our constitutional rights are here to stay. And so long as you understand that unless an ICE officer produces a warrant